Welcome to the Lectric Service Center. If you are watching this video, that probably means you just got your new Lectric ONE. You are one lucky rider. Today we will be unboxing and setting up your Lectric ONE, as well as embarking on your first ride. Before we begin, you'll need to make sure you have some tools ready to go. You'll need a box cutter, a 14mm wrench, a 4mm hex socket, a 6mm hex socket, a 17mm long socket, a small torque wrench, a large torque wrench, isopropyl alcohol and shop rags or paper towels, a smartphone, and an air pump. We prefer to use the Lectric e-bike's air pump. The Lectric ONE is 80 pounds in box, so if you need, we recommend using a friend to help you carry the box to where you're going to open it. Thanks, Tony. On the ends of the box and on the sides of the box, there are handles punched out to make carrying a little bit easier. Be sure to use these. Along the top of the box, there is tape holding the flaps together. Use a box cutter to slice the tape all along the top of the box. Throughout the box, there are steps printed on the flaps to help guide you along the unboxing process. Following step 1, pull the tabs out from the holes on the top of the box. Then, pull the top flap up. Be careful when doing so though, as there might be staples holding the top flap down. Now, down on the side of the box, there is more tape and more tabs. Again, using a box cutter, slice the tape that is down the side of the box. If needed, you may need to cut the extra tape on top of the side tabs. Once the tape is fully cut, pull the tabs out. Do this on the other side, freeing the front of the box. Now that the front of the box is free, let it fall to the ground, exposing your Lectric ONE. A quick note, your Lectric ONE might look a little bit different depending on the accessories that were purchased with the bike, but the unboxing process will be exactly the same. Inside the box, there are a number of smaller boxes holding the bike in place. Some of these boxes are packing material, and some have items for the bike in them. An interesting note, all the packing material for the Lectric ONE is green packing material, so it can be recycled. The box on the rear of the bike is the box with the charger in it. Pull that out and set it aside. The next box over is the box on top of the down tube. This is packing material. You can pull it out and throw it away. Below that box is a box containing the pedals, the Pinion SmartShift Box manual, and the Gates belt drive manual. You can set this box aside for now. There's another flat box next to it. This is packing material and can be thrown away. The final box over the top of the bike is the box containing the saddle and the seat post. Remove that box and set it aside for now. On the back side of the bike, you'll see the front wheel set between the frame of the bike and the bike box. Lean the bike forward and pull the wheel out. You can set that aside for now. On top of the wheel, there might also be a fender accessory depending on if you purchased it along with your bike. If there's a fender accessory, you can set it aside for now as well. On the rear of the box is a cardboard chock used to keep the bike stable during the shipping process. This can be pulled out and thrown away. Now, if needed, use a friend to help you lift the bike out of the box. Thanks again, Tony. Now that your Lectric ONE is out of the box, we can start to set it up. First, we find it easiest to unfold the handlebar stem and lock it into place to get it out of the way while we set up the rest of the bike. Unfold the handlebar stem, then lock into place by closing the latch until you hear a click. Once the handlebar stem is locked into place, you can go ahead and remove the packing material from the handlebars. Now, you can remove the rest of the packing material that is connected to the bike. The tape holding the packing material to the bike should be easy enough to remove by simply pulling at it, but if you need, you can use a sharp object to cut the tape. Just be careful not to touch the frame of the bike with the sharp object, as this may scratch the paint. Throughout the bike, you will notice a number of safety tags. Do not remove these, as we will go over them later in the video. When all the packing material has been removed, you can go ahead and install the C-post and saddle. Pull the packing material off the saddle. Unlock the C-tube collar. Slide the C-post into the C-tube. Then lock the C-tube collar. Do not worry about the height of the C-post, as we will go over sizing up the bike later in the video. Before we continue, it is important to take note of the serial number on your Lectric ONE. You will find the serial number stamped on the non-drive side chainstay right above the kickstand. We recommend you use this serial number to register your bike on bikeindex.org in the case that your bike is lost or stolen. It is also a good idea to keep this number handy in case you ever need to contact our customer support team. Now we will be installing the front fender accessory if you have one, and installing the front wheel. If you have one, we recommend performing the following steps on a bike stand. If you do not have one, that's okay. We will explain later how to install the front wheel without a bike stand. But first, you need to remove the packing material off the front fork. The front wheel of the Lectric ONE is held on by a through axle. You will need to remove this. Place the lever in the cutout notch on the end of the through axle, then turn it counterclockwise until you are able to pull it out. Now that the through axle is removed, we will install the front fender accessory. If you are not installing the front fender accessory today, you can skip forward in this video. Along with the front fender accessory, you will also have received a mini 4mm hex key. Use that to unscrew the bolt on the back side of the fork brace. Then, unscrew the bolts on the inside of both fork lowers. Now, remove the green packing material from the front fender accessory. Then, line up the hole on the fender tab with the bolt hole on the backside of the fork brace. Now, screw the 4mm bolt into the fork brace through the fender tab to hold it into place. Once the fender is screwed in and held into place, you will be attaching the fender stays to the fork. It is important not to attach the non-drive side fender stays yet, as there is a specific order in which to do it. On the drive side, however, simply place the screw through both fender stay holes and screw the screw into the fork lower. Now, on the non-drive side, the order is important, as if you reverse the order, the fender stay may rub against the brake caliper. The fender stay attached to the front side of the fender, or the side of the fender with the light, must be oriented on the outside, or the side closest to the fork lower, and the fender stay attached to the back side of the fender must be oriented on the inside of the front fender stay. And the fender stay attached to the back side of the fender must be oriented on the inside of the front fender stay. Make sure your fender stays look like this before you screw them in. Once the fender accessory is installed, you will notice that the light cable will need to be plugged in. This is the cable that has red in the quick plug sticking out of the cable wrapping. Unwrap the cable wrapping and tell the female end of the light cable. Then, plug the male end of the quick plug by lining up the arrows and pushing the male and female ends in together. Make sure to push them in straight, as twisting them might damage the pins inside. Now, rewrap the cable wrap around all cables, including the light cable you just plugged in. Now, if you skipped ahead in the video, welcome back. We're now going to install the front wheel. We'll show you how to do it both on and off a bike stand. We'll start with the bike stand though. Remove the cardboard cover off the front wheel. Then remove the black dust cap on the through axle hole. Check and make sure that the end cap is on the hub. If the end cap is not on your hub, please contact our customer support team before your first ride. And finally, remove the plastic guard off the brake rotor. Again, check for the end cap of the hub. If you are installing the front wheel while the bike is on the ground, you can skip ahead in this video. Now, slide the wheel into the fork dropouts, making sure not to bump the brake rotor into the brake caliper. When the dropouts on the axle are lined up, install the through axle with the lever of the through axle on the opposite side of the brake rotor and caliper, or on the drive side of the bike. Now we will show you how to install the front wheel when the bike is on the ground. Lift the front wheel of the bike high enough so that you can place the fork over the wheel. Roll the wheel into place, then drop the dropouts in line with the axle, making sure not to bump the brake rotor into the brake caliper. Once the dropout holes are lined up with the axle of the wheel, install the through axle with the lever of the through axle on the opposite side of the brake rotor and caliper, or on the drive side of the bike. When the through axle is installed, be sure to flip the lever so that it is parallel with the fork. This will ensure that the lever does not catch on anything while you're riding your Lectric ONE. Now that you have the front wheel installed, you'll need to kick down the kickstand to keep the bike upright. As mentioned earlier, there are a number of yellow safety tags attached to the bike. These tags have safety information on them that will keep you safe while riding your Lectric ONE. Along with that, there is also QR codes that you can scan. This QR code will take you to the Lectric ONE User's Manual, where you can find all the information you will need about the Lectric ONE. Once you have familiarized yourself with the safety information and the manual, you can go ahead and remove all the safety tags from around the bike. Now, let's work on setting up your Lectric ONE. First, on the handlebars, there's a set of keys. These are the keys to unlock the battery from the battery terminal. We'll be using these keys to remove the battery from the bike and begin the charging process. To remove the battery, insert the key into the keyhole on the battery and turn the key clockwise. This will unlock the battery, where you can then pull the battery off the battery terminal. Inside the charger box is another box that contains the battery charger. Open that box and pull the two parts of the charger out. The charger is made up of two parts, the charger adapter and the wall cable. Connect the wall cable to the charger adapter. Then connect the charger to the battery via the charging port. Then, plug the charger into the wall outlet. When you plug the charger into the wall, the light on the charger will flash green, then turn red. When the light is red, it means the battery is charging. Then, when the battery turns green, that means the battery is fully charged. Charging a battery to full when it is fully dead can take up to 6 hours, but Lectric sends its batteries half charged, so charging the battery full for the first time shouldn't take as long. Alternatively, you can charge your battery while the battery is installed on the bike. On the Lectric ONE, you can see the remaining power of the battery by tapping the top button on the battery. The amount of lit up bars is the amount of remaining power. Now, the second of the two boxes you pulled out and set aside has your pedals, as well as the Pinion SmartShift Box manual and the Gates belt drive manual. You can set the manuals aside and keep them for future reference. Grab your pedals and remove the plastic wrapping. Each pedal is labeled with either an R or an L. The pedal with the R on it is to be installed on the drive side of the bike, and the pedal with the L on it is to be installed on the non-drive side of the bike. The Lectric ONE has quick locking pedals. To install the quick locking pedals, insert the pedal stem into the collar lock, pull the collar lock, then let go of the collar lock. This will lock the pedal into place. Do this with both pedals. Once you have both pedals installed, give them a quick tug to make sure everything is locked into place. Now, we will pump up the tires of the Lectric ONE so that the bike is more stable while we continue to work on it. On the sidewall of the tire, you will see the recommended PSI for your tire. The recommended PSI for the Lectric ONE tire is 25 to 45 PSI. Today, we will be filling up our tires to 35 PSI. Find the valve cap, unscrew it, then place the pump over the air valve. Begin pumping up your tire. Once your tire is filled, remove the pump from the air valve and screw the valve cap back on. Repeat this process on the other tire. Now, let's make some adjustments to optimize the safety and comfort of your ride. First, we'll be adjusting the reach of your handlebars. At the top of your handlebar stem, there is a dial that will give you precise measurements to really hone in on the most comfortable reach for your handlebars. Use this while adjusting your handlebars. To adjust the reach of your handlebars, unlock the latch on the base of the handlebars by sliding the locking button on the top of the latch upwards. Then, adjust the reach of the handlebars while also twisting to keep the most comfortable angle on the handlebar itself. Once you find a safe and comfortable reach, push the latch down, locking the handlebars into place. Then, adjust the display to a comfortable viewing position. Don't forget the best part of any unboxing process, the ever-satisfying plastic peel. Now, if you would like to adjust the angle of your saddle, you can do so by loosening the 14mm bolts connected to the rails under the saddle. Then, adjust the saddle to a comfortable position. Then, tighten the bolts back down. Now let's do some checks around the bike to ensure that the bike is safe and ready to ride. First, you'll be checking the torque values of some of the components on the bike for added safety. We will start with the brake levers. Using a small torque wrench and a 4mm hex socket, make sure the bolts on the brake levers are tightened down to 3 Nm. Then, down at the rear wheel, use a large torque wrench and a 17mm long socket to make sure the rear axle is tightened down to 35 Nm. Next, down at the seat tube, pull and twist the saddle at the same time. If the seat post twists or moves up, you'll need to tighten the collar lock. Open the collar, then twist the knob at the base clockwise a couple of turns, but not too many that you'll be unable to close the collar. Then close the collar. Pull on the saddle while twisting it again to make sure that the collar lock is tight enough. On the base of the stem, there are 2 6mm pinch bolts. Using a torque wrench and a 6mm hex socket, torque them down to 15 Nm. Now, let's check the brakes. Put your hands on both grips and squeeze the brake levers. When pulling on the levers, they should not touch the grips or your fingers. Next, you'll need to perform a rock test. Pull both brake levers, then attempt to push and pull the bike back and forth. The bike shouldn't move. If the bike moves or the levers touch your fingers or grips, you may need to perform a brake adjustment. Watch this brake adjustment video on Lectric e-Bike's YouTube channel to learn how to do that. Now, down at the brake rotors, you'll want to clean them off in the case that any dirt or debris got on them during the shipping process. Spray a shop rag or paper towel with isopropyl alcohol and wipe the entire rotor down. This will make sure that there is nothing contaminating the rotor. Do this on both rotors. The final safety check to perform is simply a visual inspection. Look around the bike, and if you notice anything off or anything that looks wrong, contact our customer support team before going on your first ride. Now that your Lectric ONE is unboxed and safe to ride, let's learn how to actually work it. When the battery is done charging, slide it back into the battery terminal. You do not need the key to install the battery or to run the bike, but you will need the key to remove the battery again if you ever need to. Press the power button on the top of the battery to wake it up. The battery will enter sleep mode after 48 hours of no use. So, if you are unable to turn the bike on, your battery might be in sleep mode. Now, up at the handlebars, on the left side, there's a button pad with 3 buttons: the power button and the plus and minus buttons. To turn the bike on, hold the power button for 3 seconds. When the Lectric ONE is on, Lectric's new electric color display will illuminate, showing a number of different data fields on the home page. On the top is the estimated remaining battery. Below that is the amount of wattage being output by the motor. Below that is the speedometer. Below that is the level of pedal assist you are in. Then, on the bottom, there is data that can be cycled through by tapping the power button. By default, it'll show your odometer, but when you press the power button, it will cycle to trip length, current voltage, your current, and your current ride time. You can also enter the settings via the button pad. To enter the settings, hold down the plus and minus buttons simultaneously for 3 seconds until you see the settings menu. Once you're in the settings menu, you can change between setting pages by tapping the power button, and change the setting values with the plus and minus buttons. If you would like more in-depth detail about the settings, please watch the default settings video on Lectric eBike's YouTube channel. You can also adjust your level of pedal assist by pressing the plus and minus buttons on the button pad. Your Lectric ONE is also equipped with a thumb throttle. However, the throttle will not activate unless the bike is in at least pedal assist 1. All of Lectric e-bikes come standard with 5 levels of pedal assist. Pedal assist will activate if the display is set to level 1 through 5 and the crank arms begin to rotate. The motor will turn on and help you while you pedal to maybe get up a hill or make pedaling a little bit easier when you need it. The Lectric ONE features the PWR system. Each pedal assist level is now regulated by wattage and speed. This new system applies to both your pedal and throttle experience. In Pedal Assist 1, there is the least amount of wattage. While riding in Pedal Assist 1, you will feel light onset of power for more controlled takeoffs. In Pedal Assist 5, there is the full amount of wattage. While riding in Pedal Assist 5, you will feel strong onset of power with full torque for a fast and intense experience. When you are in Pedal Assist 1, your bike will get 4 amps, or 218 watts, and will cap the speed at 9 miles per hour. In Pedal Assist 2, your bike will get 7 amps, or 382 watts, and will remain capped at 15 miles per hour. In Pedal Assist 3, your bike will get 10 amps, or 546 watts, and will remain capped at 20 miles per hour. When your bike is in Pedal Assist 4, your bike will get 18 amps, or 983 watts, and will remain capped at 20 miles per hour. And in Pedal Assist 5, your bike will get the full 24 amps, or 1310 watts, and will remain capped at 20 miles per hour. The Lectric ONE is equipped with a headlight and a tail light, both of which can be turned on by holding the plus button for 3 seconds. You'll know the lights have turned on when you see the green light icon illuminate on the display. You can also turn off the lights by holding the plus button for 3 seconds. The Lectric ONE also allows you to turn on flashing lights, so you are easier to spot in low light situations. Enter the settings by holding the plus and minus buttons until you are in the settings menu. Then, cycle to page 12 of the settings. Once there, change the setting to 1. You will know the setting has been activated when the head and tail lights start blinking, and when the green light icon starts blinking as well. To change the lights back to static light, simply enter page 12 of the settings and turn the setting back to 0. Your Lectric ONE is equipped with a Pinion SmartShift Box, which makes shifting a breeze. It also has other cool features, but we will go over that later in the video. On the right side of the handlebars are the electric shift levers. The top lever shifts down, and the bottom lever shifts up. The Pinion SmartShift Box also has the ability to shift itself, making the riding experience as smooth as possible. The Pinion SmartShift Box also has the ability to automatically shift itself, making the riding experience as smooth as possible. But in order to make that happen, you'll need to set up the Pinion SmartShift Box and calibrate it using the Pinion SmartShift app on your smartphone. Once you have the Pinion SmartShift app downloaded on your smartphone and you have Bluetooth turned on, you can start the pairing process. Open the Pinion SmartShift app and ensure that your Lectric ONE is turned on. Then, to make sure that the Pinion SmartShift box is on, press the shift triggers a couple of times and listen for the shifting gears. If your Pinion SmartShift box does not turn on, please contact our customer support team. Once you've ensured that your Pinion SmartShift box is on, tap the button on the screen that says Add Device. Now, up at the shift triggers, press and hold the Up Shift button, or the button that is closest to the front of the bike. This will put your Pinion SmartShift box into pairing mode. You will know your Pinion SmartShift box is in pairing mode when the light on the shift box begins blinking blue. It might take a few seconds for the Pinion SmartShift box to appear on your smartphone as a compatible device, but once it does, you can click on your Pinion SmartShift box. Once your Pinion SmartShift box is connected to your smartphone through the app, you have the option to name it if you would like. Tap on the button that says Configure SmartShift Box. Doing so will take you to the main menu of your Pinion SmartShift box. The main menu is a hub in which you can calibrate and personalize your shifting experience. From the main menu, you can turn on and off your Smart Select gear. The Smart Select gear will shift your bike into the ideal gear for you when you begin pedaling again from a stop. You can also turn on and off the Pre-Select. When coasting, Pre-Select automatically shifts into the gear that matches your speed. For example, following downhill sections, this function helps you change into a climb without having to manually shift down. Pre-Select can only be activated in combination with Start Select. From the main menu, you can change your Start Select gear. The Start Select gear will be the gear your bike automatically shifts into when you begin pedaling from a stop. This is personal preference, but we suggest setting it to 3rd gear when you start, as this is a good general gear for all styles of rides. You can also set your target cadence. Again, this is personal preference, but we recommend setting it to 55, as this is a good general cadence for all types of riders. You can always change these settings later as you start to understand the auto shifting and figure out your riding style. From the main menu, you can enter the settings of your Pinion SmartShift box. In the settings, if you would like, you can reverse the shift trigger mapping. Doing this will reverse how the shift triggers behave. So, when you have this setting on, the top trigger will shift up and the bottom trigger will shift down. From the settings menu, you can calibrate your Pinion SmartShift box. You do not have to do this every time you ride your Lectric ONE, but we highly recommend calibrating it before you go on your first ride. Begin the calibration process. The Pinion SmartShift box will begin to make noise, and the light on the box will begin to flash green. Once the calibration is complete, the light will stop blinking, and you will receive a notification on your phone letting you know whether or not the calibration was successful or not. If the calibration was not successful, the light on the box will turn red, and you will receive a notification on your phone stating what went wrong. If your calibration was unsuccessful, please contact our customer support team before going on your first ride. Finally, in the Notifications tab, you can send your Pinion service data, meaning Pinion will receive the serial number of your SmartShift box and whatever errors might come through. From here, you can also hard reset your Pinion SmartShift box. Below that, you will receive notifications about your SmartShift box. These notifications can notify you of updates to the Pinion SmartShift software or errors that may have been read out. If you have any other questions about the Pinion SmartShift app, please feel free to reach out to our customer support team. Lucky you, you get one more satisfying plastic peel. Don't forget to peel the plastic off the Pinion SmartShift badge. Now that your Lectric ONE is set up, checked for safety, and you have set up the Pinion SmartShift box, we can move on to sizing up your bike and going on your first ride.
Now that we're outside, we'll move to sizing up your bike for your first ride. We'll start at the seat, move that up. I put it in line with my top hip bone. And also note not to raise your seat above the minimum insertion. Next, I'll adjust the handlebars to my liking. Next, you'll want to make sure that your pedals are fully seated into the quick release mounts. Give them a quick tug outwards. If they don't pop out, then your bike is safe and ready to ride. To mount it, step through the frame and always make sure that you have your helmet when you're ready to ride. Always make sure to flip up your kickstand. Then when powering on the bike, the SmartShift will already be in the desired gear that you've selected in your Pinion SmartShift app. Now we're ready to ride. Now that we're riding, we can get to know the bike a little bit better. To shift your bike, you can either choose to shift it manually via the shifters on the right side of the handlebars. The button closest to you will make the shifts harder. The button further away will make it easier. Or you can have your bike choose to shift automatically for you, as long as you have the pre-select setting turned on in your Pinion SmartShift app. This will select the most ideal gear for you based on your speed and cadence. All you have to do is coast for about 1/4 of a second, and it'll slap right into the correct gear for you. And if you want, you can use your thumb throttle for full power, depending on your P22 setting. Also, when coming up to a stop, your bike will automatically downshift for you as long as your start select is turned on in your Pinion app. This will put it in the most ideal gear for you when starting out again. Thanks for riding with us today. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact our customer service department.